Hey friends, this is Grace and welcome to my channel and welcome to the try it out video for August. And I'm going to leave the link to the thing that I'm trying out in the description box below. This is a little bit faster than my normal speed just because I feel like yeah, I was just a little bit slow on here, but what I am trying to do was I've watched this video from Hero Arts that this person created an interactive kind of card where there is a kind of, I don't want to say turntable, but there's a turning circle inside the card front, and then you can kind of turn that and then you can see different images as you turn the circle. And you're going to see me make a lot of mistakes. Now, one of the things that I decided to do was instead of making one, I would make three, just because I feel like that would be the best way for me to really hone down on this technique is if I do it a few more times instead of just making one card. So that's why I have three of them. And I did kind of try to do a kind of a monochromatic one where I have a card base and then I have a block of paper on top of it that's similar to the color of that card base. Now I'm starting off by coloring the background because that's what the lady did for her card. She colored it in. She was trying to create kind of a night sky. I'm not doing that here, but you know, I'm just playing and trying. But I have noticed that the ink wasn't really, like, it was just sitting on top of the paper because as I put my finger on it, I actually grabbed some of the ink off of the paper. And I don't know if it's because it's a dye-based ink. Maybe it is, but I think it's also the pattern paper. I'm sorry, the cardstock. The cardstock just doesn't take in the paper really well, because this other one, the card base, it actually takes in the paper, or the coloring a little bit more. But anyways, I'm just using the makeup brush that I got on Amazon and just trying to blend in that. And I am trying to color in a big part of the right side of the card where the opening is, because that will show once I create my little half moon for the circle element. And I know I'm not making sense right now, but if you want to watch this video, I mean this example video right now, you're more than welcome to stop this and watch that. Or if you want to just watch this till the end and then watch the video, then you can kind of understand where I'm coming from or what I'm doing. So now I've inked up all of the edges, and I'm sorry that my ugly paper scrap is still on the bottom of the papers, or showing here, but I needed that to kind of I don't know, I don't know why I didn't take that up. Anyways, it's still there. Anyways, I used the big circle just to, because that's the size of the circle that's going to go inside that's of the card front, and I put that just to kind of gauge where my circle is going to go. And let me tell you, I don't know, maybe it's because I just don't do these kinds of things often enough, but really, if I'm going to do this again, I have to watch the video as I'm making the card, because I am forgetting the reasons why the lady was doing the things that she was doing, and I was forgetting things, and yeah, it was not a very easy thing for me to try out. And again, mostly that's human error. If you were to do this, I suggest to just watch her video, or do your card as you're watching her video, if that makes any sense, just so that you don't forget any steps, and so you definitely won't have to go through the mistakes that I went through. So one of the things that, to make the circle part swivel or turn, you have to make a hole in the center of your circle. And so what she did was she cut out the same size circle, the big circle, and cut it using some just computer paper. Now I do have some computer paper, but I also have these pink papers just lying around, and it's the consistency or the texture of a computer paper, so that's what I used, so that you can see also what I'm doing, and it's, you know, it has color so you can see the difference. But anyways, I cut that into two different sizes, one for the smaller circle and one for the big one, and you just fold that into 4 so that you can find the center and poke that with a pin, and that's what I'm doing here. And then do the same thing with the smaller circle, mark that and then poke it, and that will be the one that would be adhered to the card base, and you're going to need brad for this. So I'm pulling out my brads, and I am going to just dump that because that's how I roll around here. I dump things on my table, and I'm finding just a small size of brad. Now the brad is actually when you adhere it to the card, it will be upside down. So the prongs will be on the front of the card rather than on the back, and I will tell you why in a second. So you have to have some foam adhesive on there too, so that the circle panel will be raised, and it will be you can easily swivel it. Now, the mistake I had here, first of all, was that I did not adhere that circle part right off the bat, and that's something that I forgot that the designer did. So you have to adhere that in order for your circle to not move, and that will help you to be able to see, I'm moving it around. I shouldn't be moving it anymore. That should stay where it is, but because I am not very good at this, I am moving it. And so this time around, I have to erase all of this and create my circles again. So what you do is you add this back to that smaller circle, and you have to fasten this the prongs in order for it to stay. And as you can see now, I have a problem because my prongs are showing, and so I have to move it around. Yeah, lots of mistakes here. But anyway, so you have to hold on to the edges of your paper and move it, and just create the circle. Now with this one, I don't know, for some reason I was only able to create 2 circles here. In her video she was able to make 4, and I don't know why. I'm just ending up with 2, or the most is 3, but that's just how it's going to be. So I am trying to find some small elements, small stamps here. She had a specific stamp set that she was using, again, from Hero Arts. I don't have that, but I do know that I have other smaller design or image stamps, and so I went and rummaged through my stamp sets, and that's what I'm using here. I am using my Tim Holtz stamp positioner tool because I knew that I needed to stamp this a few times in order to get a very good impression, and that's what I'm doing here. And so now I have this, and I made sure that I tried to keep those images within the circle. If they're kind of going off the circle, I made sure that the flowers, or the majority of the images are within that circle. And so now I'm going to color it, and I'm just using some of my Spectrum Noir. I have other markers, but really my favorite is Spectrum Noir. That's the only thing, I shouldn't say that's the only thing, but that's mostly what I use. And so I'm just trying to kind of find the right color. And I do have a cheat sheet for my colors, but again, I was lazy, and I think what it is I get too excited about these techniques that I just want to move through all of the steps, but I forget that I'm not as good as the people that I'm watching. So I need to slow down and kind of rethink, or, like plan out what I'm doing here. But anyways, this series is all about play for me, and I do make mistakes, and I've made a lot in this video, but I want to do this first of all for me, but at the same time maybe for you as well, to encourage you to just play. Like, there are things that we see online that it's like we think, oh, it's just so awesome, but we can never do it. But really, honestly, we can do it. Okay, so here you're gonna see me try to now work on the top of the card front, basically. And so I am going to first stamp, heat emboss this sentiment from Lawn Fawn here, and I believe this one is Thinking of You. So that's going to go on there, and I'm showing you, okay, so here I'm showing you my mistakes for this card. The first one was that I tried to stamp that kind of scallop edge before or after I did the circle, and it did not work out. And then I also stamped, and then I redid that card base, and then I touched it too soon and it smushed. And so now I have to basically go and do a third panel, and that's what I did here. But alas, it worked out. And so now I am going to adhere the card front to the card base. So again, if you are going to do this, these are a couple of things that I have learned while making this. The first is that I am not the kind of person that can make my own background. So if I were to do this again, I'd probably just use a pattern paper for my card front so that I don't have to deal with stamping and blending and inking and all of that. And I feel like the green was just a little too plain for my liking. So if you are like me, learn from my mistake and just use the pattern paper when you want to do this again. The second thing is that if you do want to create a kind of design that would go over or around that opening that you made, stamp that first before you cut the circle. Because that will save you time, or that would eliminate the making a mistake of stamping wrong or cutting in the wrong spot, if that makes any sense. One thing that I did notice when I was adhering this was that my ATG for some reason was not adhering to that pattern paper or to the cardstock base. I think again it's because of the dye that I used. The ink is just sitting on there, and so instead of the pattern or the adhesive adhering to the card base, it was not working very well. So I had to use another tape runner for that. Okay, so now this is my card. It is done. I've adhered the thing. Now I'm kind of thinking again, I feel like it's just missing something, and so I'm going to be using some rhinestones. Excuse me, I'm going to be using some rhinestones to finish off this card. I honestly am not that happy with the way it looks. I like the technique. I'm going to do that again, but again, I probably go for a more for a pattern paper because there's more designs on there instead of this kind of plain green one. But I like how it's, as you know, when it swivels, it works really well. So I have pre-stamped and colored the rest of my cards here. I really, really love this one with the animals. I colored it, and I was only able to do 3 circles for this, for my background. Don't know why mine is 3 and hers was 4. Maybe her circles were a little bit smaller. I don't know, but I'm okay with 3. Now I did also play around with the placement of my circles. With this one, you're going to see it's going to be on the top left, so that just a little bit of a difference. And then the pink one will be on the bottom. Now I made a mistake with this one and didn't use a stamp positioner, and so I turned it over and just re-stamped it. Now the problem that I have here was that my opening is on the bottom, and when I stamped it, I did not realize that my apple and pear images will be upside down once I turn it over. And this is when I kind of finally gave up and just turned off the video, because I was getting really frustrated of making so many mistakes about these card sets. So you're going to see me, the circle, the lemon is fine, but then once I turned the apple and the pear, it was just upside down. And I was just trying to figure out, okay, how am I gonna, should I like just move it and you know, switch it around? But then this other side will be uneven too. And so this is when I just finally decided I'm just going to just scrap it. And I did walk away from it for a day and then just made a new circle and then restamped it in the proper order. So those are my cards today. Lots of learning curves for this try it out video. I hope that you guys like this video and learn something new and learn from my mistakes. And if you have any questions, make sure that you leave in the comment section below. If you like these videos, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, and I will catch you guys in another video. Bye.